I'm Julianne Neal, and I'm here with Natalie Reinert, who is the author of The Hidden Horses of New York. Natalie, welcome to the EQUUS Film and Arts Fest. Thank
Well,
you for being with us today.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I wish we
Sure,
were all in person. This is fun too.
absolutely. Virtual is okay, but maybe next year we'll be all together for real. So,
hmm
can you tell us about the book that you submitted this year, The Hidden Horses of New York? Can you tell us a little bit about that project and what prompted you to start it?
The Hidden Horses of New York was this sort of dream that I had for a really long time. And whereas I was deep in the middle of a couple of really successful series, I really had this idea for this book that was like sort of a crossover novel between the equestrian stories that I love writing and that I have so much experience with, and also the whole world of like contemporary New York stories. I love stories set in New York City. I love novels about young women finding themselves. And so, what I ended up doing was taking some of my most unique and favorite New York City experiences, and I built it into the story about self-realization and finding out who you are, and dealing with first love to a certain extent. And then for all the people that visit New York and they see those horses, and wonder where they live and what their lives are like, I wanted to shine a little light on that as well, because it's a really fascinating and underground community, and that's where the title came from.
Oh, it's great. I mean, when the Equus Film Festival was in New York, we would always do the tours of the carriage stables and and the police horses. The officer Amelia would ride down and visit with us and Jamal. So it's really neat to see the horses right there in the street. It's something pretty special. So that's an exciting topic. And you've had quite an extensive background in the equestrian sport and riding anyway. So I just have to ask the three main characters of this story, are they people that you had met along the way during, or are you willing to tell us the truth on that? Or should we even ask?
Actually, yes and no. Actually, some of the more background characters are very much based on people that I have met with and dealt with in real life. Some fondly and some questionably. Thinking about the three main characters, they're definitely hodgepodges. They're people that need to be who they are to work in their position in the book. So almost like archetypal characters that I needed for the job, but I definitely they didn't just come out of thin air either.
Good answer on that one. I like how you said that. Very tactfully worded. So great. Well, so what has been the most rewarding thing about this book in particular for you?
This book, it's received some really welcome feedback and attention. Um, it was the book nobody asked for. Like I said, I write a lot of series. I'm, always elbow deep in a different series. Right now, I have one book that's sort of like percolating before I do the final edit. Well, I start on the sixth book in another series. So I have many books that people are always asking for.
Mhm.
And when I wrote this book, I said, nobody asked for this. This was entirely for me. And so for it to find an audience, to find new readers, and to get feedback from them saying that they didn't know these things about New York or about horse racing or about carriage horses. Um, One person wrote an Amazon review that said that I should be on the payroll of the New York City Tourism Board, which I just found
That's pretty
delightful,
exciting. Yeah.
because I talk about so many of my favorite places, and I have such a deep love for New York City, that to be able to write an equestrian novel and still share these landmarks and these streets and these parks, especially the parks, was such a pleasure. And so to receive that kind of feedback and know that it really resonated with people, even though they were still waiting for the next eventing book, which they're still waiting for. And even though they're waiting for more of the Alex and Alexander books, that they still took the time to really get to know this book and these characters. And then it also won an award from the American Horse Publications this past year as well. So always
That's
great.
so wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love AHP, definitely. So, well, you must be quite a creative to have all those stories just floating around in your head and to be able to put them into words that move people. So that's a special gift.
I honestly, I have nonstop stories in my head. I came up with a story while I was walking my dog, and she doesn't walk very far.
That's
And
amazing.
I was working on the title on the way up the stairs, and I thought, "I have to stop doing this."
Oh, no, 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 don't stop. Don't stop. I love it. Oh, well, if folks wanted to find you and learn more about all of the book series, I know that we'll have some things on that you'll be able to find things through the Equus Film Festival website and Equus Shopper and Amazon, of course. But how could they find out more about you? Where are you located online?
Me in particular, I have a website at nataliekreinert.com. Um, and if you just type my name into Google, it'll give you that info. So you don't have to remember how to spell it. It'll figure it out for you. And I'm on all the usual social media channels, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So you can always look me up there and I'll be happy to chat with you.
Wonderful. Well, I hope to speak with you again because I'm also a lover of New York. I just everything about it, and so can't wait to read some of the rest of your books. And it'll be great to continue a relationship correspondence. So thank you for being with us today, and we hope that next year in person we'll be able to sit down and really talk. So
Excellent. I look forward to that. Thank you so much for your time.
sure. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye now.